Bonjour. So, we are in Paris. It is early August. The city has been emptied by the Parisians. It's holiday season, but we have notarial real estate pricing numbers out. Why not time for a market update? Today we're going to look at current market pricing, the state of the mortgage market, which is super interesting, to then look at what's actually happening on the ground, so what the agents are feeling with regards to the current situation, and then have a little bit of a look at what we think is going to happen next over the coming months, Q3 onwards. First of all, pricing. Although Parisian suburbs have gained 45% over the last 12 months, Paris itself has actually been extremely flat, almost stagnant in terms of pricing. Over 12 months, we've lost 0.2%, so absolutely nothing in terms of actual value for an average price of 10,600 euros a square metre. This has been exacerbated a little bit over the last 3 months with a 1% dip, but the notaires from the current pre-contracts which are being signed actually see it coming back up to 10,700 euros a square metre. So we're really on a flat market and still a little bit away from the all-time highs where we were nearly hitting 11,000 euros a square metre. But the volumes, that tells a little bit of a different story. The Parisian suburbs, the volumes have gone up 5%, whereas in Paris, they've actually gone down. So I think this is already a trend that we're seeing a little bit of exodus over the last 12 months. What is supporting this? Mortgage rates. And this is absolutely incredible. We are at rates here which we have never ever seen before. We are at an average of 237 months mortgage duration, which is basically 20 years on average. Of course, we're talking fiscal residence, but the conditions are absolutely brilliant. And the average rate, again, we're talking averages, 1.06% on those mortgages, which is absolutely insane. And we have never seen borrowing rates so interesting, money so cheap. So on that side, that's a really strong driver for the market. And so how is this pricing and these mortgages translating on the ground? What are we seeing? So the first point, which I think is important, is that we're actually seeing the return of foreign buyers. You just need to walk in front of the Louvre to see that there are more people around. You hear more English accents. There are definitely foreigners who are back. And actually people are starting to pick up those projects on ice for 18 months. Although there is still hesitation because despite the improvement in conditions, we are still in a situation where people are concerned about getting trapped in a country. Viewings and coming over to view a property, which is naturally a very important step before you buy, people are a little bit more hesitant to do that. So we haven't still seen the full impact of the foreign buyers coming back. So hopefully the best is to come there. What are we seeing in terms of pricing? So this is a really interesting point, and something which all agents are seeing at the moment is that pricing is super sensitive. Any property which isn't at the right price, so typically priced too high, just isn't moving. And not only isn't moving, there's not any kind of context for it. Really the balance between buyers and sellers has actually, the gap has narrowed a lot. There's still the demand there, but if it's not at the right price, it's just not moving. And that's a very important point. So if you're selling a property, to make sure that you price right. What is also important, a lot of people are now away from the office, they're not in front of the agencies, so the importance of digital marketing, getting properties in front of eyes, in front of eyeballs on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, really putting a lot into the presentation, allowing people to understand what the property's like remotely, digitally, on your computer, on your iPad, on your phone. So that's really important there. Quick summary of all that. Pricing in Paris is flat, stagnant, although volumes are down 45%. However, interest rates are unbelievably low. Borrowing money has never been more interesting. So that's really, really great news if you're looking to invest. If you're looking to sell, you've got to price it right and you have to market right, because people aren't consuming in the same way, people aren't looking at adverts in the same way. So really the focus on digital has never been more important, and I think that's a trend that's here to stay. So what do we think is going to happen next? What do I think is going to happen next? Now, this is only very much personal opinion, but I think we're looking at a two-speed market. The high-end luxury market, I think, is going to remain strong. It's going to remain attractive. Again, these interest rates are incredibly good, and I can't stress this enough. With foreign buyers coming back, slowly but surely. I think that'll stay strong. We also have the Brexit effect with high-end bankers, financiers coming back looking for top quality property. So I think this end of the market is going to remain extremely strong. However, in the more Parisian neighborhoods, the more average person neighborhoods, I think we're going to see a little bit of a dip in prices. Of course, we have these incredibly low interest rates, which do strengthen and uphold the market, I think. However, quite simply to put it, the prices which have gone up by about 25% in the last 5 years, salaries haven't followed that. So naturally, people don't have as much spending power. They're also buying secondary residences rather than a bit more space. So I really think that the Parisian market in more sort of neighborhoods is going to be dipping a little bit, maybe 3-4%, because we still do have that buffer of the low interest rates. I do think, however, that it's going to be more important than ever to communicate well on video, YouTube, Instagram, and I really think that this kind of presentation, along with the personal touch, is going to be the way forward in a market which really remains incredibly attractive and perhaps is actually going to provide some opportunities for buyers in the more neighborhood areas of Paris. So if you'd like any information, if you agree, if you disagree, I'd love to talk to you, I'd love to hear from you. And we are, of course, always delighted when you watch these videos. And thank you for following YouTube, subscribe, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. It's all there. You know how to contact us as well if needs be. Thank you for watching, and I look forward to seeing you again soon. Bye-bye. This could be something. Did you know